Okay, so this wasn't the plan.
Nope, absolutely not.
This was just supposed to be a conversation that stayed between us,
Yeah, and then we were like, fuck it, let's just share our dirty laundry.
which feels like a terrible idea.
Or the best one we've had in a while.
We're sisters, twins basically.
And we keep having these conversations where we realize we probably should have been saying this out loud.
So here we are, in soft pants.
Or no pants, talking about hard truths.
And no one asked us.
But we're saying it anyway.
I'm Alex.
I'm Lonnie.
And this is Soft Pants, Hard Truths.
As most of you know, I was in a straight marriage before my current queer marriage. And rather than give you a chronological storytelling of my experiences and the timeline itself, we decided that it would be more fun or more real to expose a lot of the honesty and self-reflection that I experienced going from one to the other. So Lonnie is going to interview me today on that.
All of the things.
Yeah,
You ready?
let's do it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay. So, before we get into the heavy stuff.
Yeah.
When we say straight to queer marriage,
Mhm.
what do we think people assume?
Well, exactly that. I mean, but in my dramatic life, it was a very dramatic change. I went from a marriage to, I mean, it was essentially a picture perfect marriage. It was lovely from the outside, and a lot of lovely things on the inside. And then all of a sudden, to the outer world, I was in a queer marriage very quickly. I was getting divorced and I was with a woman. And so it was dramatic. It was sudden, I think, for everyone else. But for me, I think there was always a quiet knowing that something wasn't being fulfilled for me. I mean, I didn't ever think I was going to fall in love with a woman. Um,
I'll never
but
forget the day that you called me.
oh gosh, I
called
don't
you.
remember. Because
I
I
called
was ignoring everybody. I was like going through this major life crisis, trying to figure out what was
called
going
you,
on. You're the only
and
person I
you were like, how do I tell someone I fell in love with a woman? And I was like, just
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah, it was intense. It was intense. It was intense to experience. I think it was intense to be a part of. Like in going through those emotions, like flew off the grid. Like I was married to my ex, went to culinary school, and within a month of my externship, I was in love with someone else. And I just hadn't really come to terms with that yet. And yeah, so I think it was dramatic. I literally went from a straight marriage to a queer marriage in a matter of, I mean, it was like a year and a half.
Yeah.
So in a matter of months, so yeah.
Okay. So, what did you think would be different, but also what turned out to be ordinary or like normal? Like it's just another relationship.
I think that, I mean, life remained ordinary. Everyday life was still the same. I was still finishing culinary school. I was still, doing the same dishes, buying the same groceries. Life was still the same day in and day out. But I think what was different for me was that I finally felt like I could be authentically myself. And I didn't even know that that was missing. I think I just got so deep into like the traditional gender roles in a marriage that I didn't realize that it wasn't for me until it was way too late. Way too late. But once I came out and once Jill and I started dating, I mean, life was still the same. Life went on. People were like, "Oh, cool, you're gay. What
Yeah,
else is
like,
new?" You know,
really
like,
wasn't it was like a shocker to people, but it wasn't
yeah,
it was like, oh, "Okay, cool."
yeah. Like, and I'm very lucky in that way, right? Like, mom and dad were very accepting. You and Jeremy were very accepting.
People just want you to be happy.
And that's how it should be. But unfortunately, that's not the case for a lot of people. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that I was very, very lucky in that. I couldn't imagine coming out without a supportive family. And I feel for all of the people in this world that have to do that. Yeah. Yeah. So life didn't change for me. Just felt more like myself. Yeah.
What didn't magically change when you entered this marriage?
Um, Emotional habits, pattern resetting. I mean, you're entering a new relationship and things don't just magically get better or worse. You still have to repair and fix and communicate. And with a new partner comes new understanding. Um, and so you're relearning yourself and how you act around a new person. Um, and it's the same straight, queer, whatever. I think that happens no matter what. For me, in a queer marriage, two women is a lot of emotions. It's a lot of emotions. It is a lot of hormones. So there's a lot of communicating, over communicating happening. And I think that's better than silence. But it forces you to have to search and find the words for how you're feeling, um, which is hard enough as it is. But then you have to worry about how you're impacting the other person when you're communicating. So this marriage has taught me a lot about that.
Do you think it was primarily this relationship just being the way that it was that it taught you all of that? Or do you feel like any relationship could teach you all of that?
I mean, I think each relationship teaches you something different. Um, this one has taught me uh, that predictability isn't a bad thing. Rational conversations can happen. I guess what I'm trying to say is most of my relationships were really intense, and this is a relationship that's a lot more quiet and fulfilling in different ways. And it taught me that that's okay. Um, Intensity doesn't mean passion. You can have the same amount of passion in your safe little bubble.
What would you say stayed the same? Explain different like expectations and realities versus like one marriage from the other.
I think the core parts of me really stayed the same. I mean, I'm still me. I still have my same beliefs. If anything, I just have additional beliefs. I think being open and honest with myself. To be queer, you have to have a self-awareness that runs so deep to be able to understand these parts about yourself. And it's a part of me I didn't know I was missing. And I think while I gained a really cool new perspective on a lot of things, like I'm so interested in the queer communities out there now and queer rights. So that added on to my already existing beliefs, you know? But those other core parts of me are still the same. I mean, I wanted a family, didn't matter what kind of marriage I was in. Everything else about me is literally the same.
I
The
can
same.
agree.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, I wouldn't say it has anything to do with straight marriage, gay marriage, any of that. I think it's
Uh-oh.
just watching you go from one relationship to another
Yeah.
and seeing this one like fully embrace you and like watching you grow and like become you. Like it's been a nice little, I don't know. It's been fun to watch.
Actually, I remember that conversation with you when you first told me that.
Like she
Yep.
brings out
That
so much of you that I think I knew was there, but wasn't being embraced, I
yeah,
guess we can say.
yeah. No, I couldn't
So
agree more. I couldn't agree more. I lived a very black and white life before. And then, you know, I uprooted my whole life. We moved to California. I went to culinary school, which was completely backwards to my analytical work that I was doing. And I was introduced to this queer community. And I think everything just kind of exploded from there. Like, I dyed my hair rainbow colors that summer. And um, I started wearing different clothes. Like, it was more about being myself more than being who I thought I should be for everyone else in the role that I was playing, if that makes
fair.
sense.
Okay, so bringing that up,
Yeah.
what did you feel like you lost by leaving what made sense to everybody? You know, you were in this
Yeah.
picture perfect marriage with what most dads would say is like the ideal fucking man, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
100%.
your ex was like the ideal husband, right?
Yep.
To most fathers,
Yeah.
that is what they all hope that we end up with.
Truly. Yeah.
So, with that being said, with that life like making sense, what do you feel like you lost by leaving that?
Being as easily understood as I once was. Not because my sexuality opened up, but because I had made such a huge change in my life, um, or a lot of huge changes at such a pivotal moment in my life. I mean, as we said in our last episode, I think love at first sight is a thing, and for me, that was the case. I didn't choose to fall in love with Jill. It happened, and I chose to lean into it.
Fair.
And I don't regret it by any means. Obviously, I love my life. I regret the way I handled the situation. Um, I wish I would have um, not hurt my ex in the way that I did, but um, you know, I have to believe that everything happens for a reason. And I truly, truly do not think I would have been who I am today and understood as much about myself and about the world if I did not go down this path. And who knows if, you know, something would have happened with somebody else at a later time. I don't know. But yeah, I think people lost the ability to find me easily predictable. And I was here for it. I always did I mean, we've talked about it before. I was always agreeable. I always did the predictable
were
route.
You're my little labradoodle.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. So I chose the fork in the road, which is funny actually, because when I came out to dad, I think I told you this. When I came out to dad, it was very emotional. That came later. I actually I told him that because he knew something was happening. He knew something was going on. I was staying at mom and dad's house, which was an hour and a half away from where I was living with my ex. And my dad knew him and I were having problems, but he didn't know why. He just thought I had met someone else, but he didn't know the gender of said someone. And mom was keeping my secret until I was ready. And when I came out to him, he said two things. He said, one, he broke down in tears and he said, I am so upset that you felt like you couldn't come to me sooner. And I lost it. Lost it. But then immediately following that, he goes, I would have expected this from Lonnie, but not from you. Did I ever tell you that?
Yeah. I remember you telling me that, and I was
Yeah.
like, wow, dad. Really, dad? Come on.
Yeah.
Like,
But I mean, it's
know.
true. I think you're pretty queer on paper. I wouldn't say you fit the typical like feminine gender role by any means. You like to um, go against tradition. I don't know. I just feel like there's so many parts of you that fit into that queer.
I'm just me.
I mean, and you're perfect. You're perfect.
I know.
Mm-hmm. There's that Leo in you.
I can't do women.
No, that's fine.
I can make out with them.
Yeah.
That's fine. But
North Pole only.
I mean, boobs are boobs. But one vagina is enough for me to handle.
That's fair.
Mine is complicated enough. So
Yeah.
I would rather not have another one. And I'm already emotional enough. You want me to be put me in a room with another one?
Girl,
That's
that
like
is
the first
why
Civil War.
I know going through pregnancy with 2 women is so complicated. There's so many emotions.
Oh, I could. Yeah, I mean, I was there for a lot of it. I
Yeah.
remember all the things when Jill and you were going through this second round, and Jill was like, never doing that again.
Yeah. Well, Jill tried to get, not she tried to get pregnant, but she tried to,
Yeah.
we tried to use her eggs, right? So, that whole fiasco with her on hormones and me on hormones to try and do IVF.
Civil War.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was rough. Moving on. Do your worst.
Okay. Let's talk about identity inside a partnership.
Oh.
Did you, in this new foundation, I guess we can call it, did you feel more yourself, or do you feel like you were just perceived differently?
Both. I mean, I think I was finally able to be authentically myself in a way, like I said, I didn't even know it was missing from me, you know. I think there was less like less character changing when you go into a room, you know, how you kind of change your personality depending on who's in that room. I think there was
Absolutely.
less of that. But I think, I mean, labels and assumptions come with being queer. And so, I mean, yeah, I think people perceived me differently. But fuck 'em.
I support that.
I mean, it's not for them to decide how I live my life.
Well, yeah, because it's your life. You can live it however the fuck you want.
I know. And it's crazy that prior to this relationship, I truly didn't know that. Like, that sounds so dumb.
I think that comes with awareness, age, experience, growth. We don't learn that until we get so far in life, or like certain experiences, until we're like, oh, like I get to choose. This is my life. You know what I mean?
It's a really insane thing to think about, like giving yourself the agency to make choices that affect your own life. That sounds so simple. But to do that without other people's opinions, you know, on the forefront of your brain, and to do that truly and honestly with you and your values in mind, I never did that before. I never did that before. It was everyone else first. It was if I wasn't pleasing everyone else, people pleaser, then I was making the wrong choice. And it wasn't alignment if everyone else didn't get it, you know? And it's a wild concept to think that I truly just did not understand that until now.
It takes a lot for people to be like, this is what I want and this is what I'm going to choose to do. If you choose to dislike it, I don't care.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think that comes with, again, experience, growth, self-awareness.
Yeah.
Do we
And a
good with
lot of
that?
people stay, I think a lot of people stay in relationships because it's understood by everyone, by, that's in their life. And because it's comfortable. And
Plenty of people in this world settle.
yeah, yeah.
The
And I
dating
don't
world is awful.
necessarily think I would have been settling had I not proceeded to explore things with Jill. I wouldn't have been settling. It would have been a great life.
It
I just
have been
don't think I
though?
would have. I don't think I would have been authentically me. So, but again, like I didn't even know what I was missing until me and Jill got
That's
into
fair.
this relationship. So, would I have discovered it eventually? I'm sure. But I honestly don't. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, it's wild. Like fully embracing being queer opened up so many trains of thought about so many different things.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah. I mean, it's insane the amount of things that I now want to know about being queer. Like my brain just exploded.
I love that though.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yep.
Question. So with having, I guess, two women, moms, right?
Mhm.
How do you feel like gender roles what's the dynamic of that? Like
Yeah. I mean, they
normally,
didn't go away. They
well,
didn't go
I also
away.
feel like gender roles in general are changing. Like
Yeah.
some women are more masculine than men and some men are more soft, right? So with having two women, what does that look like for you guys?
Well, first things first. I don't think gender roles is an accurate description. I think power dynamics is based on tolerance and momentum. Like, for example, Jill does laundry, I do dishes. And then we have like a shared list. And that is a choice because I hate doing the laundry. She hates when I do the laundry because I fuck it up. And I do dishes because it's my Zen time. Okay. And so I'd prefer dishes over laundry. Um, but that has nothing to do with who's femme and who's masc. It has everything to do with what we prefer. And then we have a shared list of things that we notice around the house if we see that it has to get vacuumed or it has to get dusted. We put a little note on the fridge, and whoever gets to it in that day, whoever has the time, whoever has the space, whoever has the mental capacity, whoever is not being a parent in that moment and can get to that chore, crosses it off and does it. So it's not about gender roles. It's not about who's supposed to do what. It's who has the tolerance and the capacity to get it done.
But also who's more knowledgeable in certain things to do them.
Sure, totally.
Like Jill's totally like
She's the
a fix
handyman.
it.
I can't
She's
fix
a fix
things.
it, a
I'm
handyman. So
trying.
she's obviously gonna have more of
Yeah. Yeah.
that
And
role.
I try to take that weight off, but it's fun for her to do things like that. So I'm not going to take
Oh,
that
she
away. Like she'll
loves it.
teach me and I learn. Like I have power tools now and it's so fun.
Look how excited you are. I have power tools now.
I do. But I can't use them unsupervised yet. I cannot. I cannot. I also can't, choose the right anchor or screw to hang things because apparently there's like weights involved and it's a whole thing. Um,
You're cute.
but I'm learning. I am learning. I want to learn, and she likes to teach, so it's fun. But again, like, yes, she's more mask presenting, and so power tools, sure, it makes sense. But like, she's also the more emotional one in the relationship. So I don't think gender roles really exist.
I don't really, that's what I was saying earlier. I don't really feel like they exist in general.
They're just different. They're just
Yeah.
different. You know?
But,
But yeah, in modern progressive marriages, I think gender roles isn't really a thing anymore. And if it
No.
is, that's, I don't know, it's weird to me. Like, I'm sorry, women aren't meant to be in the kitchen all
No.
day, every day. No,
No.
they have lives too.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
anyways,
So, what's the most honest thing your current relationship has forced you to admit?
that growth is nonlinear.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. So I learn and grow and repair internally quickly. I make one mistake, I don't ever make it again, kind of a thing. Which is actually that's changed a little bit. Now I make a lot of mistakes. but I'm still
We
learning.
all,
But I'm
though.
still learning. But in my past, that's how I learn. That's how I grow. I repair things quickly and I move on. And I think I expected everybody else to be that way. Um, so if repeated mistakes happened, um, there was a lot of blame on on my partner for that, and that's really unfair expectation of me. Um, and so I think it's safe to say that everybody learns and grows in their own pace and with their own skills that they've acquired throughout their life and experiences. And so I think it was just really naive of me and really unfair of me to assume that everybody else, learned and was growing the way I do. Um, that was a harsh reality to face, to
Well,
not
yeah.
just be right about that.
Sometimes you have to admit when you're not right.
Yeah, it's really shitty though.
Yeah, but you have to be able to admit when you're wrong, right?
Oh,
In any
100%.
relationship, like friendship, family, partner, like whatever, like you have to
Yeah.
be able to admit when you're wrong.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you actually admit when you're wrong, it was a misunderstanding or I didn't have all the facts or whatever the case may be. I
Yeah.
feel like the opposing person, like let's say you admitted you were wrong with something, I feel like it would cause Jill or like my person, if I admit that I'm wrong, to be like, oh, like they actually can be vulnerable and like admit that they fucked up.
It's a safe space. Let me now talk about how I could have done better.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a positive thing. It takes a lot.
Yeah.
As Leos, we get it. It takes a
Yeah.
lot to be like,
Yeah.
I fucked up.
Being vulnerable is hard.
Oh, it
Being vulnerable
is.
is hard. Yeah.
But I feel like you get so much more out of it and it just gets all this
You
shit
do.
off your chest.
You do. 100%. Um, yeah. And being vulnerable enough to talk about how different you are from somebody and how certain things impact you in the moment and trusting them to take that and accept it and respect it and learn with it and grow with it. Um, it takes practice.
Yeah.
Takes practice. But
You admit,
yeah,
you slip up, you keep going.
harsh awakening for me to realize that not everybody was like me. You know?
What?
I know, weird. Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be a lesbian too.
Welcome to the team.
No, what?
We'd accept you. You're pretty cool.
I know you would. Trust me. We've had this conversation.
Do you remember when we went to, I think we were about to drive back to San Diego and we were at the gas station.
Yeah,
And
and that girl yelled and she's like, if you were single, like, fuck you, you want to marry me? And I was
yeah,
like,
you're just my type.
it's like, but I'm not even gay.
I love it. But like I said, you look like you could be.
You know, a lot of my clients that have like become acquaintances,
Mm-hmm.
some of them I've mentioned, like, yeah, like, I'm the straightest lesbian ever. They're like, wait, you're not bi? And I'm like, no,
Nope.
I'm sorry, but no, no.
Yeah.
And Garbage Pail Kids' joke was always, the girls love you. Like
Mhm.
Friday the 13th at the shop,
Yeah.
take my money. I'm like, no. I mean, I don't see it that way that it's like, oh, they're hitting on me. I'm like, no, I'm just real. I'm a very personable person and I can conversate with my clients. I don't take it as like, oh, here, take my money, you're hot.
Yeah.
But I will start embracing that if I need to.
Do it. Do it. Yeah. My ex would always say, like, we'd go to the mall or something, whatever college kids do. And we'd walk around, and he always used to point out that women would always look at me and not at him. And I'd always take that as a compliment. And then one night we went to a bar with one of our friends, and we were playing pool, the three of us. Um, and a really, really, really intoxicated girl came up behind me and spanked my butt, blew me a kiss, and then walked out. And I looked because it had been like in the same week when a girl checked me out at the mall. And so I looked at my ex and I was like, what is going on? This is well before I had any inclination that I was queer. Well before. And I was like, what is going on? Like, is the world trying to tell me something, And those things just kept happening. And I must have been blind. I don't know. I
So,
obviously looked gay. I don't know.
question.
Yeah.
I have a question.
I have a
For the
question for you.
people wondering,
Yeah.
did you know that you were gay younger on or bi? Like, what do you categorize yourself as? Like, would you consider
Question.
yourself bi? Would you
Queer.
consider yourself just gay?
No, queer. Queer. It's all encompassing. I I find men attractive. I find women attractive. I don't find men emotionally intelligent enough to be in a relationship with, I think, ever again.
That's fair.
Um, but I'm still attracted to them. Like I just can appreciate a beautiful human. So I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm bisexual. I don't know why. That doesn't resonate with me. Um, but I like queer.
Okay, that's fair. But when
Yeah.
did you know? Did you know younger? Come
No.
on.
No, I
You
had no
always,
freaking clue.
dude,
I had
you
no
made
freaking
out with so many girls when we moved to
no.
Arizona.
I made out with my friends in
That's
New
why,
York.
like, I wasn't surprised because I
I
was like,
Really?
she had a new best friend that was a girl every week, and I swear they made out all the
Yeah,
time.
I did. I made out with all my girlfriends. But I don't even know. I felt like that's just what everybody did.
I mean, I didn't make out with all of my friends. I made out with all the guys.
I was a make out whore. I
Yeah,
don't
same, but
know.
I made out with all the guys.
Yeah, I
So I
didn't
feel
do
like
that.
that's why, like,
But I was
did
in a
you
relationship with a
know?
man and still making out with women because he liked it.
I mean, that's fair.
So that was like, I don't want to say it was an excuse to make out with other people because that's not that, but it was accepted because they were women and not men.
Because
Um,
that's every man's
but it was
fucking
just fun. It was
desire.
just like for attention at the bar. Like me and my friends used to make out at the bar just for attention. Or so I thought, at least. I don't, the feelings never, listen, the feelings never ran deeper than surface level. Like they were just my friends. I never saw
That's
any of
fair.
them differently. I never, not once, saw any girlfriend of mine differently than just a friend.
That's
Um,
fair.
and so I really, truly just did not lean into that or didn't really think it would end up this way um, until I met Jill. And then everything I knew just went out the window.
All of a sudden,
Yeah.
I love that though. I
I
love
love it
that.
too. I love it too. It was just really confusing to try and figure out.
Well, yeah, but I feel like that's with any relationship. When you start dating someone new,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to relearn somebody, refigure everything out, right?
Yeah, we just didn't have any queer like role models, you know? Like we didn't really surround ourselves with anyone queer. I think that's why culinary school was kind of the catalyst for me, because that's when I stepped into a world that was full of queers. Truly.
Fair.
Like,
Yeah.
and so I saw it, you know, live. Um and just the authenticity in these people and the willingness to be whatever they wanted to be without judgment. Um was something that I wanted in that moment. And I met Jill and I was like, "Oh, it's my time."
I
Here we
really
are.
like her.
I do too.
You really like her. You
I do.
wanna kiss her. You
I
wanna
do.
love her. Okay,
Yeah,
next question.
bring it on.
Do you feel like being with a woman that your dynamics have changed, like when you have an argument or a fight or like a disagreement?
Oh, 100%.
Do you guys both cry a lot? Do you guys like, I don't know, I feel
You
like
know the answer of me. I always cry.
when it's
I,
a dude, like just comparing to
yeah,
my relationships, they all
yeah,
just get defensive and are like, "Ooh, I'm not
yeah.
a bitch."
Well, no,
Da-da-da-da.
defensiveness still happens, and it's still something that we have to, you know, work through. That very much still happens. Like in current therapy sessions, we still talk about how to remove those defenses and conflict. But I think in comparison to a straight marriage, like the emotional intelligence at the forefront of the conversation, like there's no fear in communicating your needs in this relationship, which is nothing that I have ever experienced before. There's literally no fear in me saying, I need this from you. This hurt me. This felt like an attack. How can we work through this? I've never been able to say that with anybody before. And maybe it's Jill, and maybe
That's
I
what I
could
was
say
gonna
that with
say.
men.
Do you feel like that's just because you guys are such a good fit?
Maybe, maybe. But I honestly, I never felt safe enough in any relationship to be that vulnerable. And I think a part of it is just the emotional safety that you get for me, that I get with another woman that I never got with another man.
That's fair.
And yeah, sometimes there's tears and sometimes there's not. And sometimes we're complete fucking dicks to each other and we don't even give room for that emotional safety. But the fact that it's been there and we've navigated in a healthy, emotionally safe, respectful way, um,
Do you feel
that's
like that
nothing I had
safety
ever
has always
experienced
been
before.
there?
Yeah, I do. I do. For me, it was pretty immediate. And I know honeymoon phase and all that. But yeah, there was the very first conflict Jill and I ever had. We were hanging out with some friends and she had said something that just settled wrong. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And I went to bed and she had come in and said, "Hey, did I hurt you? Did I say something?" And I said, "Yeah, honestly, like you just said something that didn't hit right and it just made me feel not okay. And I was uncomfortable. And so I wanted to go. And I was fresh out of the divorce. And so it was very, very new. And her response wasn't, "Ugh, what the hell? Why would you cause a scene like that?" Or, "Cool. Well, all right. I guess we'll talk tomorrow." Like none of that. It was, "Okay, can you tell me what I said exactly? Like how do we work through this? I want to make sure I never do it again." It was just immediate tolerance and immediately just opening up to try and figure out how to fix it. Um, and it's for the most part been that way ever since, with the uphill battles of life. But
I also feel like that ties into like emotional intelligence, right?
yeah, oh, totally.
Like to be aware enough that when someone says you upset me, like you don't attack. You
Yeah,
you don't get defensive.
yeah.
You don't be an asshole and you sit there and you have the hard conversation.
Hmm.
If you care about that person, you have the hard conversation.
You do, and you don't brush it under the rug. And I mean, I don't know if that's gender specific or
No,
straight
that's
or
what I'm
queer
saying.
marriage
Like I
specific,
feel like
but
that is what comes with just emotional intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, I felt safe right from the beginning with Jill.
I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Do you feel like there's anything that's harder now that you like didn't expect?
Um, parenting. Um, parenting as a same-sex couple is challenging as of late. It hasn't always been, honestly. Like the first few years, I was like, why do people complain? This is great. Like
This is so
these kids
easy.
love having two moms. They're so happy. They're so excited. They repeat, I have two mommies, and they love it. I mean, even the twins do that now. But Henry, as of late, he's 5 now, and he understands things and he communicates things and has feelings that he can put names to. And he came home from school one day a couple weeks ago and was like, I want a daddy. And my heart broke. Like, just broke. Because Jill had a really hard time at the beginning with Henry. Their relationship was not easy. And they had to work towards it. She wasn't the birthing mom, and he had another mom. And I couldn't even begin to try to understand what that feels like. But for him to say that, she gets hurt with those comments. And I was so hurt looking at her. Like, she just felt so broken because not only did he just say, I wish I had a daddy, a couple days later, he followed it up with something along the lines of, well, yellow mommy is my favorite mommy. She has more points than you, blue mommy. But you can get there. You just need a couple more points. And again, like just I'm gonna cry. Just heartbreaking. Um to have to, have those conversations. And I know that probably happens in a straight marriage with kids too, right? Like, I love mommy more than I love daddy, but there's no crash course in navigating that in a same-sex couple. There's not a whole lot of books about it. Like, it's not mainstream, so to speak, And so it's really fucking hard when your kid says that he wants one of you and then wants a dad. Um, and I can only imagine with the twins in the next couple of years that it's going to get worse.
Yeah. I think with the twins, it might be different.
How so?
Only because at first, Noah clicked with Jill
Oh, yeah.
because
Well,
he
she
hadn't latched
essentially nursed
and
him.
she fed him and all that.
Yeah.
So then, like, you and Elena had that connection,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And then now recently, like, Elena's been like, Blue Mommy, and Noah's
Mhm.
been latched onto you. So I feel like there's that swap going back and forth with both of them,
Mhm.
that it's like a nice exchange that I don't think it's going to be as
So,
hard.
but Henry did that too. Henry did that too. And to set the record straight, I'm yellow mommy. My wife is blue mommy. Henry, when he was 2, I don't know if he was reading our auras or some shit. I don't know. But he called me yellow mommy and he called Jill blue mommy. I asked him and he goes, well, you had yellow hair. I said, okay, but Jill doesn't have blue hair. So anyways, we don't know why he picked that. But now the twins, I have a boy and a girl, and they call us that too. So just to clear that. But yeah, no, I mean, Henry was that way too. He flip-flopped with who was his favorite in his toddler years. And now it's very clearly me.
Yeah, but it also is parenting styles too. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure, but he sees mommy and daddy's more at school than he sees mommy and mommy or daddy and daddy. And like, we knew these conversations were going to come. We just didn't think they were going to be so harsh. Like, there's no secrets. I mean, if he has questions about who the donor was, like, we'll tell him. We agreed on
yeah.
that before even going into this. Like, if he wants to know, we'll tell him when he's older. But for now, like, he has 2 moms. He does not have a dad, you know? He has uncles, so many uncles, so many aunts, but he doesn't have a dad.
I think that's okay though.
Oh, it's totally okay. He's not
You know what I
missing.
mean? Like,
he gets
no,
all of
I
it from Jill and
think
I.
he'll, I mean, in a sense of like, it's gonna be hard conversations,
Mhm.
but I think once he is old enough to understand it, like actually understand it, it'll be easier.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree. The road is rocky getting to that point.
I mean, think about divorced families.
Yeah.
Children have to get used to girlfriends, new moms, new dads, boyfriends. Like, they
Yeah.
might like daddy's girlfriend more. They might like mommy's husband more. They might, so it's like people's feelings are going to get hurt no matter what. Kids are fucking brutal. Kids are fucking honest.
I know, God. You know what Henry said to me the other day? We kiss owies in this house, um, to make them feel better, you know? And I had a pimple, and Henry came up to me, and he goes, "Mommy, you have an owie on your face." And he kissed it. There's nothing like a freaking 5-year-old kid to point out all of your insecurities
And your flaws.
and your flaws. Anyways,
Wait
yeah,
till
kids are
he's
fucking
older.
smart, but they don't know. They don't know. They just tell it like it is. They are so brutally honest. They tell it like it is.
Last said child told me once, "You don't have as many wrinkles as daddy."
I love that for
And
you.
I was like, "Thanks."
Yeah.
And then she gets
Don't tell your
close
dad.
again. "But you still have wrinkles on your eyes." I was like, "Girl, those are from
Yeah.
smiling so much."
I'm 40 years old. Of course I have wrinkles.
Serious. But they're just brutally honest. They don't understand
Yeah.
that they're going to hurt feelings,
No.
So, like,
Yep. I know.
he doesn't understand that he is going to hurt Jill's
I
feelings.
know that, and you know that, and Jill knows that, but it doesn't make it easier to digest.
I know.
I know.
But you guys just have to collectively work through it.
I know. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, anyways, long tangent. The answer is parenting.
Okay, so kind of going back to the straight marriage,
Mhm.
the straight road.
There's nothing straight in this house. We use the word forward.
That's what I wanted you to say because I love when you say there's nothing straight in this house. Um, did you grieve anything leaving that marriage?
Yeah, the vision of who I thought I was going to become. I mean, for 26 years, thought about myself in one way, you know? And then when I met my ex in college, I mean, we were together for 8+ years. Um, and so for 8+ years, I had a vision of what our life would look like, you know? And so, yeah, of course I grieve that life. I grieve that relationship. I grieve him. You know, he was my best friend. And so there's a lot of things I miss about that relationship, but I think eventually I would have been really unhappy for reasons out of his control, you know? And he would have resented me. So it was better that we
That's
split.
fair.
Yeah. You're not crying again, are you?
No, I had an itch. Do you know how many
Mhm.
people are mad that they got that wrong?
Ah, you had something in your eye last time. What do you mean?
I did.
Mhm.
Okay, I have one more question.
Mm.
What is something that you would never tolerate again? Not just because it's wrong, but because it costs you too much of like yourself or like your beliefs or like it makes you have to dim yourself down.
Mhm. Um, I think living for everyone else's understanding and not for your internal alignment, which has been kind of the pattern of this conversation, I feel like. I feel like for a really long time, I just did what was understood to be the right thing. I didn't make any hard choices.
How do you know that you're in alignment? Teach me your ways without making me a lesbian.
I think the moment, and I think I said this to you before, the moment I realized Jill was the right person was when I didn't want to change her. I didn't want her to be better by changing herself. I embraced her quirks. I embraced the pieces of her that were imperfect. I didn't want her to be anybody other than her. And I cannot say that about anyone else that I've dated or been married to. There's always been something that I've wanted to change about them. And so I think I realized I was in alignment when I could happily embrace all of the pieces of her.
And I love that. And I feel like whenever you guys have like a rough patch, I remind you guys of that.
You do. You do.
One last closing thing.
Oh,
If you could give one message to anyone that is struggling coming out, is struggling with self-worth, or who they think they are, who they want to be, and don't know how to get there. Just if you could say something to anybody that's like gone through all of the things that you have been through, what would it be?
there is a whole support system out there. And until you embrace those parts of yourself, you're never going to find them. And I think everything is meant to happen when it's meant to happen, and the time will be right for you and not for anyone else. But you follow your own rules and your own timeline. And when you're ready, just know that there's a billion people out there ready and willing to accept you and to help you and to be there for you. I don't know. It's not worth keeping you inside.
I love that.
Yeah.
They could also email us.
Yeah. I'm here for questions, for feedback, for conversations. I don't have a rough experience coming out, but I know a lot of people do. Mm.
So if there's any questions or you have specific questions about any of the topics that we covered, like shoot us an email and we'll make sure to include it in the next episode when we get back to this stuff.
Be ready for me to interview Lonnie in the next episode about her love life. Thanks, guys. Thanks,
for
guys.
coming.
See you next week.
But also, for those of you that have continued to come back and sent your feedback and are just fucking here for this and for us, like fucking
We love
thank
you.